Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the Chandie Speaks podcast. This will be for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. I am sitting here. I'm recording this a little early because I have a busy week ahead of me. I'm sitting here at the wedding chapel where I work, and I'm seeing all these beautiful, beautiful people come in dressed up, going into the wedding. I think I put this in one of my last episode or something that I got a new job. I'm trying to make it into a career. I'm officially a chef, back in the chef game, in the actual food life game, cooking real food. So yes, I'm no longer working at Waffle House. Nothing wrong with Waffle House, just, I needed more. Like I said, the objective is for me to go out of the country as many times as I can before my passport expires. So yeah, this is my new gig. I'm really happy of it. It's raining right now, so hopefully the sound quality won't be too bad, but I wanted to just jump right into this. I'm not sure what direction this will go. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what direction I want this episode to go in, but hopefully I'll be able to talk for an extended period of time about it. But yeah, it's raining outside right now, and I'm like, hey, let me just record this really quick and get to it. I want to remind everyone to email me. I always forget to plug my email address, chandiespeaks@gmail.com. That's chandiespeaks@gmail.com. You can literally ask me anything. So yeah, let's get into it. How's everyone doing? It's been a crazy week. I'd say on multiple levels, like physically, with transitioning to this new job, and emotionally and whatnot. It's really nice to see. The cool thing about working at a wedding chapel is it's cool to see. It's really nice to just sort of believe in love again. Just even if it's a fantasy or a fairy tale, or it's for the wrong reasons. It's nice to see just couples gather together for one purpose, to celebrate the union of two other people falling in love and yada, yada, yada. It's really nice to see. It makes me have hope. Okay. So, literally since my last podcast, I actually made a post. So I'm going to just give a little backstory on this. Back in the day when when I started using Facebook, for all you old heads out there who still use Facebook, I used to post for myself, and I found myself in my later years posting for different reasons. Let me explain. So yeah, Facebook, obviously everyone knows what Facebook is. You go on there, you say whatever you want to say, and then you post it. And so yeah, I used to just post for myself, and I found myself, I don't actually post for myself anymore. Instead of that, I'm looking for sort of reactions for different reasons. I think the best way I can describe it is observing human nature. I found myself using Facebook to sort of observe the way humans interact with each other, how they react to certain things, what they say. It was more for the meaning behind the post and not the post itself. Don't get me wrong, some people, they fall right into it and they just answer the question and whatever. But there's deeper meanings why people respond to posts, why this popped up in your algorithm, why you felt the need to come on here and speak on the topic, rather agreeing or disagreeing. So I've been using Facebook. I'd say actually that started right around the time when I got together with my ex-narcissistic husband. At the time we were just dating, but right around the time when I started dating my ex-husband, who was a self-proclaimed narcissist, I noticed that I was making posts to sort of just learn about people and reflect, So anyway, last week I made a post. I'm in several communities, several groups on Facebook. I made a post in a van life community group. I'm not going to say which van life group it is, but I'm a van lifer, so I'm in several van life groups on Facebook. And so this one was a group for singles, coincidentally. Not really coincidentally. And the post was really just so that I can sort of see how people would react, how people would speak about themselves. So the actual post, and it got over 100 and I'm looking at it right now, 114 comments or something like that. Over 114 comments. A lot of them were replies. Here, let me actually pull it up. But yeah, the post said, it asked the question, why are people attracted to you? Please flex. So if anyone saw that post, anyone who's listening, who's a part of those van life communities, it's a pretty big group. The group itself has over 21,000 members. I made this post 5 days ago. So the question was asking, why are people attracted to you? And I wanted to see how people talked to themselves. Like, okay, a little sidebar disclaimer here. The group is majority men, which actually changes a lot of my, my science, my findings. Mostly the members in the group are men. It's majority men. And that's kind of how it is across the board. I've sort of noticed a pattern across the board in most of these like singles groups and apps and shit like that, where it's just mostly men. And I have a theory about that later, but let me find this post and let me get into it. It's kind of, okay, I found it. Yeah, 114 comments. In my eyes, that was pretty successful, so in a different group, a different van life community group, I did make a post. I'll just give a little backstory on just sort of the things that I come across when I post in these groups for science. I would say this was like at the beginning of the year. I did another social experiment post where I made a post basically inviting people to jump in my DMs. I took about a half a gram of mushrooms, and I was just about to come up on the peak, the trip. And so I made a post saying, hey, I just took some mushrooms. Send me a DM if you want to talk about, if you want to have a friendly, respectful conversation about, and I gave like 20 different topics, anything from like relationships to mommy and daddy issues, to drugs, to travel, to nomadic lifestyle, racism, politics, spirituality, all of it. I sort of invited strangers into my DM, and man, it's raining really loud right now. I'm gonna pause this and see if it'll calm down a little bit. All right, this isn't calming down, but so yeah, I made the post, and what I found from that, a lot of men actually needed someone to talk to. And maybe it had something to do with the fact that they knew that, the post was made by a woman. But there were some women that, just jumped in my DMs and just wanted to talk about art or camping or, one of the other topics. I think I put Pokemon as a topic. Like, I was coming up on the trip, and, I just felt chatty. And yeah, a lot of men actually needed someone to talk to, which was something that I learned. Like, a lot of men felt, I guess, disconnected, or they don't really get to talk to maybe people in general, let alone women, that often, or get invited to talk. I feel like maybe not a lot of people are inviting men to just have a conversation, a friendly, respectful conversation. So that was weird. What else did I learn from that? I also learned that most of the people that responded to that post weren't even talking about anything sexual, and sexuality was one of the topics, but, I didn't have anyone actually talk to me about anything of like gender roles or feminism or sexuality or anything like that. They were all just talking about, strictly, they kept it respectful for the most part. So yeah, I think, men specifically, just based on that observation, men need people to talk to. Men need to be able to have the space. Maybe they don't feel that they do have the space or feel safe enough to talk to. But anyway, enough of that. So I made this post. This post I made 5 days ago. And God, it's raining really fucking loud. And I know the quality of this podcast is going to suck. But I'm feeling chatty, so I'm just trying to getting it out. So the post asked, why are people attracted to you? And I'll read some of them out, some of the responses out, but really I want to get down to like, the human nature part of it. It's looking like mostly men. And of course, like I said, this group is mostly men. But what the hell does that say about either the van life community with men or just men in general within the singles community? You know, not saying that all men who are in van life are single, but most of them are the ones that responded to this post. And maybe it comes down to just men not feeling heard. I don't know why. I'm not trying to, like, you know, come down on anybody. I'm just speaking on my observations. It was going good at first. Got a lot of people saying positive things about themselves. Hold on. Saying nice things about themselves, posting pictures of themselves, smiling. Women did respond to this post, but really, like, very few women. In comparison, I would say it was like 85% of the people that responded to this post were men. And like I said, it started out really good, but then maybe like a third of the way through, like 10 people in, you had the first person to say something negative about themselves, about why people are attracted to them. And then it just went off from there. Then everyone else had just what I've noticed. One person was like, I've heard it's my smile and I know what I want. And so he posted a picture of himself smiling. One guy said, they think I have money. Some of these were funny. Some of these weren't serious and stuff. A woman wrote, I've been told it's my resting bitch face. I'm trying to find a serious one. One guy wrote it when the question was, why are people attracted to you? One guy said, grounded serenity while practicing ancient wisdom in modern conditions, and opportunities to witness the dramatic failures as I fall short trying to live it out loud. Who doesn't like a deep-rooted, colorful clown? People that hate me for my freedom. Okay, guy. Cool story. For the most part, in the beginning, people did have a lot of nice things to say about themselves. One girl wrote, I maintain a sense of wonder and hope while also being realistic and raw and holding space for emotions. When I realize I need to work on something about myself, I start working on it, and I'm a problem solver. Although I wish people would stop being attracted to me for that one. I'm not your manic pixie dream, whatever. 'Tis just tism. This one guy who is a fire spinner. It looks like from the picture that he spins fire. He does like one of those fire things, fire breathing or something. He said, fire is hot and it makes me hot too, I suppose. So that was cool. It was nice to see people saying nice things about themselves. One girl wrote, my big booty and I'm well-rounded skills-wise, which is probably the most honest response from all the women on here. I feel like women try and perform a lot and men just try and be vulnerable, and no one's really listening to each other. One guy wrote, because I'm confident without being cocky, I'm truly happy and love my life of adventure and travel. Okay, cool. Good for you guys. So mostly men responded to this post in general. A few women responded, and not many of the women had like genuine answers that didn't seem like performative. So that was something. I also noticed that once the first person, who was a man, decided to post, people aren't attracted to me. Like, he was the first person to say that people aren't attracted to me, or I don't know. And then it just became a trend. So I say most of the comments, which were mostly given by men, most of them in general were also just people sort of looking for self-pity, I guess. Men looking for some kind of like, feel bad for me. No one's attracted to me. I'm a loser. Literally, people are writing, I'm a loser. I saw that quote. They're not attracted to me. People don't really know why people are attracted to them, but you kind of do. I feel like you should know why people are attracted to you. And if you can't think of one reason why someone might be attracted to you, even if like no one's currently attracted to you or pursuing you right now, you should know what makes you attractive to other people. Unless you live under a rock. And I feel like people who go out of their way to tell people that people don't like them, oh, no one loves me, no one's attracted to me, It's deeper than, like, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that. Like, that's not going to make someone attracted to me. Are you trying to be unattractive? That's probably one of my most, like, the thing that I can find most unattractive about a person is someone who doesn't know why they're attractive or why they're unattractive. Or it's you know, it's a lack of self-awareness, and that's unattractive. Or self-loathing, which isn't attractive. I don't know. Not to a balanced person. I don't know anyone who would be attracted to someone who just can't say something nice about themselves. And it's mostly men on this post. I'm not saying it's all men. I'm just saying on this social experiment post that I made, we're only an average, like, out of 20,000 people, only 114 comments were made. And I would say like 75% of them are actual people, and the other 25% are just replies to those people saying, "Oh, I think you're attractive. Cool. You want to, like, go out sometime or something?" I don't know. Some men be like super thirsty on these dating things, and that's why I truly believe that a single man is probably the most unsuccessful demographic. Now let's just say, and I'm going to go on a tangent here. And I'm not coming down. It's just through my observations and really through some numbers. I think there's some real statistics out there about this. But of the 4 main demographics that I'm giving, we have married men, we have married women, we have single men, and we have single women. And of those 4 demographics, I would say that single men are the most unsuccessful. I think coming in real close would be a married woman, because at least the married woman, though she may be, like, statistically more unsuccessful than like a married man or a single woman, sometimes the woman actually wants to be that way. She wants to be sort of taken care of by someone else, so she doesn't have to really try as much. She wants to put her career on hold and take care of the kids at home and not really have to think for herself or do anything first. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are women who actually want to be. So in a way, like, on paper, they're unsuccessful, but in the way that, you know, they still won because they got their family, they got the man, they got the protection and provider, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, dead last, I would say the most unsuccessful would be a single man, because an unsuccessful man, at least the way we see him, is someone who can't provide for themselves and can't provide for anyone else, and is uncharismatic enough to even have conversations with people. So they seek out these random, like, any woman. I feel like any woman would do. A man who's not really talking to a woman, any woman will do. You know, they sort of whore themselves out in that way. They're like, I just need to talk to a woman. I just need to have access to a woman. Those are unsuccessful men. You never see a married man behaving that way, or I rarely see a single man who is balanced enough within himself to not have to rely on women emotionally as most single men do. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. And of course, I think the most successful demographic would be a married man, and coming in a close second would be a single woman. Because a married man, married to a woman, he's successful all on his own right, but he also has the support of that woman who put her whole life on hold to help make him more successful. I don't know what it is about it. Like, whenever you see a successful man, I would say he's married. He's married to a woman. There's nothing wrong with that. People that choose their lifestyle, there are people who are meant to do that, who are just born to just help men succeed. But you never see a successful woman really needing to do that, requiring a man to pay for all their stuff. You know, it's giving insecure. You know, it's not really empowering, at least to me. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to cover with that. I've only been rambling for 20 minutes. I guess I could go in further, like, about just, like, the differences between men and women. And I don't even want to sound preachy or anything. These are just my beliefs. These are just my views. And they help me They help me navigate through life. Like, men and women are just different. We're just different. I would like to believe that the reason why mostly men responded to that post of why people are attracted to them and not women, it's because women kind of just universally know that all men are attracted to them. That's just kind of how nature just sort of worked it out. So women, they either know why they're attractive, and they speak on it, or it doesn't even need to be said. It's just sort of something that's understood. Men don't really get the floor to brag on themselves too much. We don't view love the same way. There's like this delusional idea of love that women have been carrying on for the benefit of men. Like, men know that they're not beautiful like women. They want to bring forth life. That's why they always want to, put their dick in anything that moves. But they also understand that ultimately women have that choice to bear that child. So they have to be worthy. Most men are not even worthy of making that choice. They date for the benefits of love, whereas women sort of date for love. A man will love you, but if you weren't beautiful, or if you didn't have the ability to bear a child, or if you didn't have a vagina, what else you got? If it doesn't benefit them, they're not going to go for it. And for most men, just the attention of a woman is the benefit enough. Even if a man knows that he'll never get to marry you or sleep with you or anything, just you talking to him, he knows that this is benefiting. And as soon as you become annoying or bratty or whatever, then you're no longer benefiting him. Women get more emotionally involved with the man, and that's why they have to be so choosy, very particular about who they invite into their space. Because, if given the opportunity, a man will drain you of your life force energy. He will interject, put himself into your space and then take everything and then move on. If you allow him. I don't know if I'm sounding preachy right now. They're just my views. Just my ideas. It's raining right now. This podcast is not really great sound quality, but I'm pushing through it. Seeing if I can ramble for another 6 minutes or so. So yeah, I like doing these posts on Facebook to sort of trigger people. I'm one of those people that goes out of their way to trigger people. Well, mostly to hold up a mirror, to be able to reflect on it for me and allow people to sort of see themselves. I make all my posts public. So yeah, go find them if you want to interact with, not everyone likes everything I post, and I don't really care. It's not like I'm not here to be liked by everyone, I'm just here to live in my authenticity. I say this all the fucking time. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. Thanks for listening. I know there are a lot of people who think like I think. I was talking to these women the other day, and this is another reason why, and this is another different sidetrack of why I don't generally have friendships. I don't like mixing business with pleasure. I don't generally have friendships that are from work, my work environment. You're either a professional acquaintance or associate, or you're just a coworker. And yeah, I almost merged the two again. But I had a conversation with these women at a job I no longer work for. And a lot of women, I'm noticing through their conversation that these particular women, and I would say women in general, when they hear the idea that their life, that someone's life doesn't have to be revolved around man, like a woman doesn't have to revolve her entire existence around being a mother or being attached to a man in any way, shape, or form. Like, they look at me crazy. And I'm not trying to act like I'm all on my high horse, because this is just like the beginning of it. I, like anyone who's been following my other episodes, I recently had an awakening in the beginning of 2025 with essentially a loser, the biggest loser of 2025. And it woke me up. And yeah, I'm not going to sit on here and say like, hey, you know, you don't need a man and stuff like that, because not even more than like 6 months ago, I believed that. I believed the idea that if I don't have a man with me, then something's wrong with me. And a lot of women like to believe that, you know, that they're all about that life. But when you start like putting it into practice, they start like backpedaling and try and make you feel like you're the problem. Like, just passive aggressiveness. These two ladies were going to come on the podcast. I know I mentioned it before, but I'm just deciding that I'd rather have just like a more mature conversation with a real woman. I would love to hear feedback. Anyone who has anything to say about my views, like, I'd love to hear them, and we can go into a back and forth dialogue. But I'm not going to sit up here and play the passive aggressive cattiness with women. Just keep it real, you know. If it's something that you could never do, then just say that. You know, a lot of women have a problem with being alone, or accepting the possibility that that they're gonna die alone, that, you know, there's not a soulmate for you. Even married women, I know plenty of married women who are not happy. They're not happy in their marriages, but they feel like it's something that they should be doing, and that something's wrong with them if they're not married. Many women my age are just waking up to this, you know, just like me. I'm just now waking up to it. Literally, like around Christmas time last year, I decided that, you know, maybe I should just stop putting all my thoughts and energy into something that is not even, it's delusional to believe that there's one person, and at least in my idea, in my head, it's delusional for me to believe that there's one person who can fulfill all of my needs. We have women particularly, and I've said this before, we have a delusional idea of what it means to love someone. And men and women express their love in different ways. Not saying it's not possible, but it takes a whole lot of compromise and sacrifice and honesty and self-reflection to even have that conversation, really. So, yeah, this guy just sort of woke me up from it unintentionally. And once I started to sort of look at the world through this lens, it was like a whole new world, the whole new perception of the world. Things just started to make sense. And I want to help people, or not. Like, if people want to be helped, then I try and keep it real with them. I made an episode about this on my Van Life Diaries, about how I just had one of the most beautiful conversations of my life in Guyana with a friend who I met out there. I'll shout her out, Rochelle. Shout out to Rochelle. We had many beautiful conversations, and I didn't get to record it. I'm a little sad that I didn't get to record some of it. A lot of it was sacred conversations, but, you know, it was a conversation with a woman who was willing to accept the reality and the truth to make changes in their life for the better. I think women live in denial, and then they try and be catty and passive aggressive to me, saying things like, oh, well, who hurt you? Oh, I haven't been heartbroken like that, to just say fuck all men. And you're missing what I never said fuck all men. I'm just saying that it's not the center of my life. It's not the center of my universe. And the more decentered I became of men, the better my life got. Like, I've been out of the country on my own 4 different times since I got divorced. I mean, we don't really like celebrating or thinking of the idea that women can be happy, if not they're more successful and more happy, without centering their whole life and pouring their whole life into a man or a child or whatever. And some women are meant for that. Everyone has their roles in life. I'm not coming down on moms or married women. I'm just saying, like, don't come down on me. So yeah, I'd love to have a conversation with mature people, men and women, even men. I feel like when I try and have this conversation with men on how, like, they're not the center of my, like, there's no one really worth my happiness. I'm too selfish, really. There's no one really worth me going backwards for. I can't think of a single soul who I would just ditch everything that I've built for myself, ditch the whole idea and the whole lifestyle so that I can help a man become successful. It's crazy to even, like, say, and this wasn't me. I'm not on a high horse. This wasn't me, like, in December. This was a part of my New Year's resolution that I'm actually going to address what needs to be changed. And like I said, I have no regrets. I've only gone up since I've adopted this idea. And I'm okay with it. Damn, okay, 32 minutes. I don't know if this is even going to be a good podcast. I'm going to edit some shit down. I think that was a good rant, though. It was a pretty good rant. I like to hear from you. I want to hear what you got to say about it. Men, women, doesn't matter. I'm always willing to learn. I'm always willing to reflect and look at myself and see what needs to change and what would make me a better version of myself. I'm fiercely independent and, like, courageously selfish. It takes a lot of courage for people, especially women, to go out there and be selfish and be completely full of themselves. Like, I'm so in love with myself that it's, you know, nothing's really taking me off of my square. Not even a man. So I love to hear from you. Go ahead and email me, chandyspeaks@gmail.com, chandieakes@gmail.com. I don't want this to be one of those, like, dating shows thing. Like, I think it's, like, really cheap and really, like, low vibrational almost to have discussions about men and women. So yeah, I had nothing going on this week. Pretty low key. But yeah, everyone does dating shows. Everyone does, this and that. But yeah, it felt relevant because, just because of the women who I was going to invite on the show, who just sort of stuck their nose up at me when I was spitting some knowledge. Like, you can tell that they agreed with me with most of my points, but that they couldn't sort of bring themselves to accepting the truth. But anyway, go ahead and email me. Thanks for listening. chandyspeaks@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time.